Hello everyone, Ethan with Hey Bucko Outdoors here today. We are going to be going over another budget fixed blade, the Cold Steel Pendleton Lite Hunter. Now, this guy goes for between $18 and $30, so let's see if it will be a contender in your lineup. About the blade, very, very basic. Kind of a similar vibe of the Mora Companion. You do have a lanyard hole back here, and then you have a very, very thin polymer sheath here. Does have a decent belt loop though, and we're gonna run this through the gauntlet, try out a few different things, anything from cardboard to hemp rope, and see how it does. Let's get into it. You know it, you love it, and this is actually part of cardboard from a Weatherby rifle box, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming to the channel shortly. Okay, let's see how it pierces. Not bad. This is some thicker gauge cardboard as well. That tip is very, very slicey. I don't know if you can notice that, but yeah, it does its thing rather well. Kind of have to get good index. As you can tell, this is meant for skinning. You stick that tip in and it will do what it needs to do. That wasn't the best example, but you get what I mean. I apologize for the wind. We had a rather wicked storm system move through last night. Brought the temperature down 20 degrees and all that, so the wind is doing wind things. Let's tell you, anymore when it comes to cordage cutting, if it can't cut through hemp rope or paracord rather easily, I don't even want to mess with this anymore. So cool thing about this blade, it is hollow ground, German 4116 stainless, made in Taiwan. We're going to do it backwards today. We're going to start with hemp rope and then move our way to paracord. So hemp rope, as you can see, that was ridiculously easy. Hollow ground knives rather typically do rather well from what I found when cutting through hemp rope. Ooh, failed on that one. Boom, there we go. Let's try, see if we can do two. Might be a little bit much for as small of a blade as we got. Actually, no. It cut through that like butter. Wow. Very good. Now, same thing with the paracord. No issues whatsoever. Trying to see if I could get it hung up on anything. Double loop. Like butter. Do one more. See how little effort. Okay, so if you do bring it down, you've got the ever so slightest ricasso or sharpening choil right there, and it did, once I had cut halfway through that, it did get caught up in that. So just a consideration for you. Let's try making a spear point, maybe a feather stick, and get into it. Everything is soaked to the bone. So let's see what we can do. This is going to be probably not the most impressive. This knife is super light as well. You know, it's like 3 ounces. Got a big old knot right there. So having to kind of work with that. And surprisingly, it is wanting to bite a decent chunk of that wood out. So there is, in terms of getting purchase on this knife, you've got these 2 little indents here. So when you're skinning, you can grab it like so, or like that. Kind of do one of these and run it along that hide of the animal. Get done what you need to get done. No jimping to speak of. For this cheap of a knife, I wouldn't really expect there to be. Handle, I'm not noticing any hot spots. I'm curious to see if my hand was covered in blood and guts after skinning a piece of game, how slick this would be. That is my only consideration. So, there we go. Very exciting stuff, I know. So this is a piece of pine. It is soaked. Seeing how deep that wants to bite. Okay. Well, you get the idea. It'll do that. I'm curious to see if this thing will even chop. Let's get into it. Hi again. Let's get into it. So, to show you how thick that is, it's about good big. Oh, gotcha. And then we'll get into it. This knife is so light, dude. It's like it's not even funny. So I am curious to see how it does. That little bird beak back there, that is getting caught on like the last part of my last two fingers right there. I can see how after doing this for 30 minutes an hour, it would develop a hot spot. Making a little bit of progress. Not much though. Again, this is definitely not in the wheel set of what this knife is supposed to do, but I'd like to try it anyways. I think if you used a lanyard, I think you would do much, much better. So I am having to put undue pressure on it to make sure it doesn't fly out of my hands. Getting close. What was that? A minute and a half to get through that? So not terrible. It can be done in a last resort. Let's move in. I want to do the paper test, and then we can go over specs, and I'll let you guys go. Okay, everyone. We are back inside. Before we move along, I'm going to just try to cut this. Okay, and we did do a fairly in-depth review with this guy, so beat on it for quite a few minutes. Let's see if we can pierce through it. Yeah, it'll do that also. Not too shabby. So, I'm surprised to see that a budget knife like this can hold its edge relatively well. Sweet. Let's move on to some of the specifications. It's a fun word to say, isn't it? Okie dokie. So it is kind of like a mirror finish, just about. You can actually see me in the camera right there. Hello. Anyways, like I said, German 4116, made in Taiwan. Gives you that little logo, the Pendleton Lite Hunter. I do believe they have a Pendleton Hunter. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to say that. I'm stationed at Camp Pendleton. I should know how to say the dang thing. This is the box you get. Wow, ooh, rather plain, kind of gives you the dimensions and all that. I do have them written down though. So, cold steel Pendleton Lite Hunter, blade and length 3 5/8 inches. Let's see, blade thickness 3 millimeters, that is 0.11 inches. Handle length 4.875 inches. That's pretty. So you got a longer handle than you do a blade, which for a skinny knife I would expect anything less. High impact polymer handle. Overall length 8.5 inches. Like I said, the weight on this entire thing is 2.7 inches. Where I can see this really being ideal, if you're a small game hunter or you can bring your sharpener with you and you want to bring this as your one of your butchering knives when you go out in the field for deer hunting or small game hunting. It's extremely light. It seems to hold its edge relatively well. I've never skinned game with it, so I can't really speak to the effectiveness and durability of it in that particular application. However, this is what it's designed for. The website even said, ideal for skinning and field dressing. Drop point blade, like I said, hollow ground with a secondary bevel. Seems to hold its edge really well. Let's actually run our finger along that just to see. Yeah, I'm not noticing any nicks on it whatsoever. Seems to be holding up pretty good. The cool thing as well, your sheath has a drainage hole in there, so whenever you're hunting, it always seems to be raining or something happens, so it's good to have that. Stainless though, it'll prevent it from rusting as much. Now, I called the handle high density polymer. It really says that. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try. But yeah, the price on this guy online, I was able to find I paid $18.95. They're running some type of deal, so I figured I'd pick it up, to $28.95. So I don't think that's too terrible. If you're looking for a decent skinning knife, like a backup, a throwaway, as it were, for the price, I don't see an issue why why you should not pick this up. It seems like a relatively well-built knife. Cold steel has a decent reputation. If anything, the way that blade almost like arcs up, I think is ideal for skinning, especially get that good grip on there, be able to work down that the hide. I think it would be a good skinning knife so long as it held its edge reasonably well. Anyone who's deer hunted knows you get about halfway through and your knife starts doling out. There's nothing worse than having to stop, clean your knife off, resharpen, and go back at it. So that is the Pendleton Lite Hunter, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, if this is something you'd like to carry, or if you'd even choose this. If you have a better recommendation for the price point, let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next video.